Shemai, I'm going to take a look at this today, the Mahalo Solid Electric Bass Ukulele. So this bass ukulele by Mahalo, I will go through the proper specs and features in a minute. I've been looking at these for a long time. They've been out for a good few years and I've almost bought one a few times. This isn't mine. I've been lent this by a local bass ukulele player. He's a beginner and he wanted me to take a little look at it because he had a couple of concerns. I asked him could I do a review while I had it and he said yes, of course. So there we go. This is the official title is Mahalo Solid Electric Bass Ukulele, and I'm going to get this correct because when you actually look on the internet for these, you're getting a few different model numbers. This is, according to the Mahalo website, the MEB1 Pro-TBR price to start with. Various prices on the internet ranging from round about the £253 mark up to about 300 and just slightly above. They are available in a number of places, actual music shops, things like Gear for Music, PMT, stuff like that in the UK certainly. I'm not sure about Thomann, and I'm not sure if you can actually buy it direct from Mahalo. But price range, it's sort of a little bit more expensive than the Harley Benton from Thomann. Cheaper than things like the California U-Bass. Much more expensive than things like the Bat King. And the reason I'm mentioning some of those is because of this feature, the neck through. There seems to be quite a few solid body basses now, mini basses, bass ukuleles, whatever you're calling them, coming out with this neck through design. So I would have thought that this is probably at the top range of those in terms of price, going up to about the £300 mark. The design has changed on it, and as I just said, I'm not that fussed on this new design. There are certain things I really do like about it. For example, the colour, the way the contrasts with the actual neck through. It's got, again, like the Harley Benton, it's got quite a curved front body, and in fact it's noticeable how curved it is when I look at the saddle and the bridge going across there, because I can see daylight going through those. And it's also got a nice curved back as well. This particular one is available in a natural colour, so it's all much lighter, and also in this brown finish. It's not always available everywhere. At the minute, it's not available in most places. They're coming into stock in a matter of weeks or months. So yeah, availability a little bit sketchy on these. So the body is made out of an American swamp ash, which makes it nice and light. The neck itself, if I go like that, and it's a gorgeous colour with the neck. It's a Canadian maple neck, as I said, all the way through with rosewood stripes on it. Again, this is where different information is available in these. According to the Mahalo, yeah, I've said that right, the Mahalo website, the fingerboard is an engineered rosewood. There was an issue with rosewood being used on instruments a few years ago. So that's an engineered rosewood, whereas if you look on other sites that are selling this, they're saying that's walnut. To me, that's much darker than walnut, so I'm going with the engineered rosewood. Overall length of the instrument from the bottom right up to the top of the headstock is 750mm or 29.5 inches. So the scale, 53 centimetres or 530mm or just under 21 inches. Again, there's conflicting information out there. I measure these myself. I double check the info I'm giving you. Okay, so just under 21 inch scale, 24 nickel frets. Again, other websites are saying 22 I've counted it's 24. How usable those frets are up here, because in effect it's given us a whole 2-octave range. I'm not sure, but I've counted and there's definitely 24 frets on here. The machine heads, or the tuning pegs, they're open gear. They are the cheaper kind. They've worked fine for me so far. They're unbranded. However, like so many others, I can see that the actual string, if I turn it around that way, on the E and the A, sorry, the A and the E, are just about off the actual tuners, which means it is going to cause issues. I've had this now, I've seen this on quite a few bass ukuleles, and part of the problem is they're not being stringed up properly. Okay, there's too much string being left on these, and I think that's what's causing it, especially with these cheap tuners, but at the minute they're working. It's got a satin finish to it. The overall finish isn't too bad, to be honest. I can't see anything where there's any really gaping holes in the finish or any knocks or anything like that. And it is quite a nice piece of wood. So if I just go like that for a second, so you can really appreciate. Okay. And I've said before as well, the neck through design, especially on bass guitars, tends to be on the more expensive instruments. So it is something I do quite like on these. It gives it a really stylish finish. Other things I've noticed in terms of the finish as well, the frets, all 24 of them, they're nice and smoothed off. There's no issues there. Now the strings, this is basically brand new. The person who's bought it, as I said, he had a couple of concerns. So this really hasn't been played very much. The strings are really quite bumpy and lumpy if I run my finger over them. Some websites are saying these are Aquila. On the actual Mahalo website, this is what it says. Black synthetic. Now to me, if the Mahalo website isn't claiming they're Aquila, they are probably not Aquila. And if they were going to be Aquila, they would be the Thunder Blacks. I'm not convinced with that, to be honest. There may have been a label saying it when this gentleman, Dave, by the way, thank you, had the bass. But just running my fingers over this, yeah, they're feeling quite, I don't know if you'll hear that, squeaky and sticky and lumpy, which is odd. It's got a Graphtec saddle with a piezo pickup underneath. It has got, it's saying PPS nut. I didn't recognise that, but anyway, it's a 45mm width at the nut. Onto the electronics, volume and two-tone controls. I'll talk a bit more about those in a minute. It is claiming it has got a shadow EQ system in there. It's active, so there is a battery in the back. I have taken off this cover. I just wanted to have a little nose to see what was in there. It's a little bit messy inside, but everything seems to be connected okay. It's got 2 strap buttons, top and bottom, although this one on the top horn is a little bit loose. It has got a truss rod in here, and it has got side markings on the frets as well. And it does come with a slightly padded gig bag, which has got a pocket on the front, rucksack straps on the back, obviously fits the instrument as well. So as a package, it's not too bad. I've seen better cases, but I've certainly seen worse. So, playing it. There was something that instantly struck me when I plugged it in. Dave had mentioned it as well. Something he'd noticed when he got this bass when it first arrived is the overall volume of it. You think, yeah, that's not too bad. However, I have really cranked my amp up in this case. If I turn my amp to where I normally keep it for the majority of my instruments, it is very quiet. As you saw in the intro, I really did have to turn it up. Okay, and just to give you an idea, I'm going to very quickly plug in, I've got the Harley Benton Toman just here, just to give you an idea of the actual differences in volume. So I haven't touched the amp. I'm suspecting this is going to be stupidly loud. Okay, so if I turn my amp back down, which is where I would normally keep it, I'm going to plug the Mahalo back in now. It's a shame about that because this has got some nice features with it. I have opened up the back just to make sure everything was a-okay in there and nothing had come loose. I have also changed the 9-volt battery as well, just in case that was causing the issue. So I haven't changed the volume. Okay, so there is a huge difference with the amount of volume that is being picked up from this compared to my Harley Benton, which are very, very similar instruments, let's be honest. And in fact, the Harley Benton isn't perfect because that's got a very hot signal running out of it if I turn the EQ up. But I didn't do that, I've got it set nice. This, very quiet. Okay, so yeah, you can fix things like this by cranking up the amp, and bearing in mind I'm using my Gensler 350 there, which is probably pumping out about 200 watts. Now, don't get me wrong, it's nowhere near that on here, but I'm in a small room and I would expect the pickups to pick it up at a decent volume. Good points, mind, it does seem to be consistent going across the strings. Okay, so that was the volume absolutely turned up. Now, I did mention with the EQ, just to have an idea. Turn that all the way down. Turn it all the way back up. I would hazard a guess to say that is the bass control, the middle one, and then the very bottom one. There doesn't seem to be anything happening at all with that bottom control, and the middle one, sucks all the life out of it. And the actual volume, and that's at full. Yeah, you can use, preamps and booster pedals and turning your amp right up, but, a bass or any instrument really needs to give a decent signal out to be able to hear it through amps. So intonation actually isn't too bad. And it does get that 2 octaves. And realistically, how sensible you be playing. These frets are absolutely minute up here, but it is 24 frets. So, the Mahalo solid electric bass ukulele, neck through, between about the 250 and 300 pounds mark. So it's not the cheapest. It's not the most expensive. It's not a bad looking bass if you like this kind of thing. You know, snazzy neck through. So the design is alright. It's got a nice curved back. It has got a truss rod fitted. It's got 24 frets. So, you know, if that's the kind of thing you're looking for, I can't say, to be honest, whether or not the quiet volume is an issue with them all, or whether or not this is just a quality control. The fact that this control knob here doesn't seem to work at all. The middle one just sort of sucks all the life out of it, and the overall volume is not great. Those things to me are sort of screaming the electronics are not very good in it, and it's being claimed that this is a shadow EQ system. It could be as simple as a loose wire somewhere. I have taken this off. I couldn't see anything obvious, and it's a shame because it's not a bad uke to play. Pros, good looking. Overall finish of it, you know, the finish of the body, the frets, isn't too bad. I do really quite like the Mahalo logo inlaid in the top with a little sun underneath it. I really do like the overall design of it as well. It's just a shame that in this case, this particular one isn't great. It's not something that I've seen a lot of on the internet in terms of people saying, oh, it's a very quiet instrument. So as I said, it could be just one-off, but then we're back to this old argument of if you're spending money on an instrument, that instrument should be playable. Whether this is playable or not, that is going to be entirely up to the person who's playing it, what you're going to be doing with it to decide. I wouldn't keep it like this. If this was my instrument now, I would either be pulling it all apart and seeing if I could sort the electronics myself, or taking it to somebody who could, or saying to whoever I bought it from, look, can you send me another one? Because there are some quite serious faults with this. Other than that, what more can I say, really? First of all, thank you, Dave, for letting me have a look at this. I'm sorry I haven't been able to solve any of the issues that you mentioned when you first got it. That's annoying, to be honest, that strap button there. Again, if it was mine, I would probably be taking it off, re-drilling, or at least putting a slightly different felt bit under, just to push that down a little bit. It does come with a gig bag, and instruments of this size sometimes are not the easiest to get cases for. There's not really a lot more I can say about it. That's the Mahalo solid electric bass ukulele. Not my cup of tea because of the shape of it, because of that strange shape by there. But I've certainly played worse, but I've played much better. I was hoping to do a little bit of a comparison between the two of them. In fact, look at them like that. There are lots of similarities between this. This one is a bit cheaper than this one, but I also wouldn't want to compare if this one isn't working properly, and I do want to get it back to its rightful owner. So maybe in the future, we'll see. If you'd like to support me here on the channel, I do have a Patreon page, and I'll drop a link in the description below for that. As always, though, I do hope you've enjoyed this video and maybe found it useful. If you've got any comments or questions, please feel free, leave those below. Give us a like if you've enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos. Thank you for watching.